did in the obedient movement, and I put it to you. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm going to put it to you. Are you and the obedient planning the protests across Nigeria? Or do you feel insulted that this is being alluded to the obedience movement?
Mazi, let me say without equivocation that Hama has become very impatient. Hama has become the boy next door. Hama has become very profuse and proficient. And Tinubu understands the dynamics. He understands where we are, you know. I think that those who speak for him are unaware of the reality or have deliberately decided to ignore it. Who will plan a protest? How do you plan a protest of this nature? Let me tell you, Mazdi, and those who are on this platform with us, that those who are actually accused of planning a protest are given a sense of direction to a frustration that become enormous. There is palpable anger, there is palpable frustration, hunger on the street. Last week I was in Lagos, for instance, and I had a craving for yam, and I asked them to go buy a tube of yam. God is my witness. A very small tube of yam sold for about 9,000 naira. God is my witness. And I asked myself two questions. Asking aloud, my daughter looked at me and said, "Daddy, you don't know what people go through." I said, "I know. I know because every morning I wake up, there's either a text message or a WhatsApp message from several persons asking for 2,000 naira, 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira. And Mazi, when you were in the country, when you visited, we talked about these issues. The urgency and the reality of now is the fact that young people across Africa are rising up. And so those who are looking for who to blame have decided to reenact the age of unreason. My write-up on these issues went very viral. I'm still very surprised at how far it's gone, and it's still going, because Nigerians identify the truism of it. Citizens Joy Bokwe and Bayo Anonuga are just gaslighting people. They're just trying to play the ostrich. They understand. They live in the country. They know how difficult it has become. They know that there's pain and anger on the streets. You know, trying to ethnicize it is actually what they think what they're doing is the wrong thing, because I listened to my brother from the north who spoke a while ago, and he captured it correctly. Those who are trying to ethnicize the raging storm are the ones who are trying to provoke conflict and violence. If you ask me, am I in support of the efforts of the Nigerian people, the young people that we call Gen Z, to protest the hunger in the land? And I would say, capital letter, yes. Has P2B and the obedient movements been, is P2B and the obedient movement largely behind it? I would say no. P2B, like everybody has noted here, is a man of peace. He believes in due process. You know, the question I'll ask by Anonuga is, if P2B did not call out people to the streets when he won a general election, is it now that the Supreme Court and the judiciary has ruled that Tinubu won, that he wants to call out people to the streets? I think that there's something wrong with those who speak on behalf of Mr. President. And I think that they are unaware of the fact that they are not actually trying to divide those who are protesting, who are going to be protesting. They are feeling anger and conflict. I have seen people speak very strongly and vitriolically, if you permit my choice of words. People are shouting out there. People are angry out there because of the words that Bayo Anonuga has used, because of the words that Joy Bokwe and their ilks have used. Nigerians want to exercise their constitutional right, which is the freedom of assembly, which is the freedom to disagree with government, And I've said, Mazi, and I'm saying this again, that criticism, position, is actually the street that leads to brotherhood and greatness. Criticism, strong opposition, is actually that street that leads to democracy. And those who try to stifle it, those who try to remove it, those who try to derogate and make that right extinct are those who are provoking conflict. What is wrong with Mr. President if they're truly, truly listening to us, making quick? What is wrong with him saying, okay, forthwith, as part of the effort to stem the raging storm that I call a deluge, that I am cutting my salaries and emoluments by 50%. I'm not talking about just salaries, all the hidden take homes by 50%. I'm cutting the salaries and allowances of the National Assembly by 50%. I am giving up the purchase of a brand new aircraft. I am ensuring that this and that is done to alleviate poverty. I'm creating farming reserves. I'm pumping out fertilizer and grains. What stops them from taking proactive action? Why are they trying to gaslight people on the lines of ethnicity, the lines of religion, the lines of region? Why are they trying to provoke a generation that has tendencies and thoughts that are like hunger, indiscriminate of creed? Go around Nigeria and you find out that the Gen Z generally do not identify with each other on account of ethnicity, on account of religion, on account of tribe. Go around the cinema centers, go around the clubs, and you find out that they barely or rarely call themselves by their first names or their last names. Everybody is my guy. They don't care who is Yoruba, Hausa, or Igbo. They don't care who is a Muslim. So I think that Bayo Anonuga, Joy Bokwe and co are living in the past. I think that deliberately they have decided to walk in paths that are atavistic and few thoughts that are chivalry. And I think that what we must do as a people is to put issues in proper perspective. Peter Obi has not asked people to organize a protest. The obedient movements are not organizing a protest. Nigerians are organizing a protest. Nigerians have given some kind of notice to government that they want their country back. Nigerians want a nation that is responsible to her citizens. Nigerians want leaders who are responsible and responsive to the people. And the freedom to protest is inalienable. The freedom to disagree is God given. The freedom to demand rights is as old as the Himalayas.
Obi should be held responsible for anarchy. That is the opening paragraph. Second paragraph says, don't be fooled. The malcontents planning to stage nationwide protests are supporters of Peter Obi, the failed presidential candidate of the Labour Party, and he should be held responsible for whatever crisis emanates from the action. Dr. Mo, are you there? As someone who, in the last election, was very visible and who worked for within the obedient movement and the campaign, reading this, understanding what you and every other Nigerian like us go through every single day, and the messages we do receive in our inboxes, be it across the social media channels, reading what Bayo Anonuga has penned here. I've also read your response, but that is written. Could you please tell us your feeling? In the last election, was very visible and who worked for within the obedient movement and the campaign, reading this, understanding what you and every other Nigerian like us go through every single day. And the messages we do receive in our inboxes, be it across the social media channels, reading what Bayo Anonuga has penned here. I've also read your response, but that is written. Could you please tell us your feeling?
I'm almost numbed right now, to say the least, because it's almost, I'm even very careful because, and that's why I've resorted to writing, because that way I'm able to articulate and attend to the issues. Otherwise, we are at a point where it's almost as though they are begging for us to just destroy our own country. Meanwhile, it is a ploy that they are putting in place to ensure that that happens, because Bayo Anonuga's tweet was very clear. He accused directly Mr. P2B. He said he is responsible for the looming anarchy. And of course, most of the people on this platform, we're talking about Professor Chris Mokobi, are talking about Professor Patrick Tommy. Of course, I led the protest during the last, immediately after the elections. But when you see this divisive narrative for the incompetency, the ineptitude, for the, almost the embezzlement that is going on, because for all the trillions of Naira projects that we see, from the coastal railway to the, like my senior brother said here, to the purchasing of jets and many other programs that are in, millions and trillions of Naira, including many people are not aware. The FCT minister has 1.2 trillion, with another 93 billion Naira. And then you just paint Asokoro and Maitama, and then you are now dancing every day, almost trying to get, you actually want to infuriate the Nigerian citizen. You get on TV, and what they do every day is to, the minister, Wiki and his people are dancing every day to the sensibilities of Nigerians. Bayo Anonuga is there calling on obedience, and P2B, Reno is there insulting and, defaming Mr. P2B on a daily basis. And it's absurd, and it's what I can say here is that I think we've gotten to the point where all I would advise this current administration and the advisors and the people, the ministers that have surrounded themselves around BAT, is to tell them to do the honorable thing. Let them just bequeath the responsibility of governance to Mr. P2B, because it is clear that he has what it takes to be able to put Nigeria to where it is. And you can see very clearly that they have reached a point where they don't know what to do anymore. They don't know what to do anymore, and they definitely cannot govern Nigeria. So what they're trying to do is to self-implode the country and put the responsibility on other people. I would quietly ask the president to resign quietly and so that we can hold Mr. P to be responsible for the prices of things, for the hunger in the land and everything. Let them resign and hand over the governance to him, so we can hold him responsible. And this is just a way to kind of, be able to retain my anger, my angst, and what is going on. On a daily basis, I have over 100 people in my inbox asking for one funds or the other. As we are speaking right now, people are calling who cannot eat, people cannot move, people can't do things. And yet, what we see around the governance structure is just, almost, I have no nomenclature to describe, what's going on with this regime. And to make things worse is to be calling for the arrest of the most innocent, the most humble, the most patriotic, a man that told me when I was in London that I did not support your protest because my son cannot be in London and I will be telling you to go on the street. Mr. P2B said, if I want to lead the protest, I will go outside and lead it myself. And it's that kind of person that you are accusing it's absurd to say the least. You know, I'm trying to gather my thoughts together because of the environment where I am to be able to, you know, articulately, you know, be a part of this program. But I am angry to the teeth because Nigeria we've never been in this. Over 100 million Nigerians can't eat every day. This is the reality. And it's crazy. 70,000 cannot even buy a bag of gari, much less beans. So what are we talking about? This is
Thank you very
this. Thank you.